So you want to buy a Rockwell Commander 112 or 114, just different versions of the same plane. The plane started out as the 111 and 112, though the fixed-gear 111 never made it past prototype. Over the initial 10-year production run, improvements were steadily made and new versions were spun off. The 114 is the version with the beefier 6-cylinder Lycoming. So what the heck is the little Commander anyway? Don't really hear about it that much. To explain it analogously, you can think of it as a 1980s Buick. Big, it's comfortable, people see you coming, not famously well made, and despite burning a bit of gas, it's not terrifically fast. That's pretty much it. In an age of Bonanzas and Arrows and 210s, the Commander didn't outperform any of them, but it was roomier, it was more comfortable, and it looked cool. Well, I never did care for the aesthetic, but you know who did? Non-pilots. Commander marketed the 112 and 114 to regular wealthy people. Rather than compete directly with Cessna and Beech, seems they preferred to try to convince non-aviator inclined people to buy a cool new toy than to convince airplane savvy folks to not buy a Bonanza. This marketing approach is still happening today by somebody else we know. But hey, you can't lose a battle you don't show up for, and there's always been plenty of rich folks looking for shiny new toys. Anyway, the only people buying old GA planes today are hardcore plane people, such as you and I, and the Commander's performance is properly priced. It's basically Cessna 182 performance, but more roomy and comfortable, and minus the vast support network and familiarity of Cessna. There are some good deals to be had. Regular maintenance and annuals are fairly average for this type of airplane. For the Commander, the 1980s were the age of airworthiness directives. There's quite a few. Make sure your Commander shopping checklist includes ADs are complete, and probably underline that one too. Let me quickly summarize the timeline. The 112 and 114 are the hot potato of airplane design rights. Rockwell Commander started in 1972 and quit in 1980. Gulfstream bought the rights, but all they produced was a laundry list of airworthiness directives. Newly formed Commander Aircraft Company bought them in 1988 and started producing new planes in 1992. A fair amount of improvements come with the 90s models. They got about 200 built in their 10-year production run, but they were unable to survive the downturn post 9/11 and shut down in 2002. Commander Premier Aircraft Corporation took over the rights in 2005 and built parts until 2012, although that company did change hands in 2009. There you go. Is hot potato a thing in the rest of the world? After all is said and done, I think the Commander's a good buy, as long as you're not signing up to take on incomplete airworthiness directives, which are costly to implement. You may be aware that I'm partial to planes that suit the big and tall, and the Commander is just that. Maybe even the best in class for cabin space. Maybe, when close anyway. No, it's not as fast as its contemporaries, but we're talking 10 to 20 knots difference. So you're adding about 20 minutes on a 3-hour flight, and the Rockwell Commander is a perfectly nice place to spend an extra 15 minutes. That's Rockwell Commander 112. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.